Hello and welcome to Wonderland. My name is Allison. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the moon energy for the week of July 24th through July 30th. Last week was quite a doozy. I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on. Like the new moon, that energy is only going to last 1 to 3 days. And all of the other things that happened, mostly, and Chiron shifting into retrograde, I think that was just like compounded by all the other planets that had gone retrograde, that have already gone retrograde. So now we're currently in this retrograde of Palooza where we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, Chiron, all retrograde. I feel like I'm forgetting one, but so this is a lot. And I think it's important that we remember that the new moon happens within 3 days. So it's a lot that happens around just those 3 days. And then the energy shifts. With these retrogrades, this is a longer period of time. So hopefully it's not going to feel so so weighty, like heavy. These are like retrograde windows. Like we have this certain amount of time. Most of them are going to start going direct starting in September. So it's like these windows, like between May and October, and then between June and September, and then between, I think, the July and October again. Like these are like long periods of time. So, like, don't feel like you have to figure out what your Venus retrograde mission is and do it all at once. These are things that, like, we can gradually take one step at a time. So if things were feeling overwhelming, I think that's because of the new moon energy. But now that that has shifted, we can start kind of like taking smaller steps. And then we're also in Leo season 2. So after Venus went retrograde, after Chiron went retrograde, we moved into Leo season. So now we can just kind of be open and receptive and soak up the sun and soak up the energy and kind of figure out what that means for us and allow it to be a slow process and not be this like overwhelming thing that happens all at once. With that being said, I still think the energy is feeling pretty heavy, but not as hopefully not as intense as the new moon. But as far as updates and announcements go for this week, I haven't finished the Leo season schedule yet. Hopefully, I'll have that to you sometime this week. I'm canceling Tarot Tuesday, and I'm going to be doing either live streaming on Monday or Wednesday or both. I just had something come up. I'm either going to be streaming Monday or Wednesday, if not both, depending on how my energy feels. Things feel very like shifty. I'd rather show up than to plan something and have to cancel it. Like I'd rather, you know. So no announcements this week other than we're canceling Tarot Tuesday, but I will still be streaming. So let's jump into a first quarter in Scorpio week. We're already in Libra energy today if you're watching this live on Sunday. And I really love Libra energy. And speaking of Libra energy, this is what made me think of it. I wanted to remind everybody to go back and fill out your self evaluation for the Cancer and new moon activity because I really like, even though I've been following the moon for a really long time and I pretty much have a general idea of how my energy responds to the moon energy, it was a little different this time. And I'm now kind of just starting to see different patterns with each season. So, like, I feel differently. I was feeling differently at the beginning of the year on specific moon days than I am now. And I think that that is definitely seasonal. I also am noticing, like, for whatever reason, Taurus is really heavy for me right now. And so I'm just kind of exploring what that means for me. It's just really helpful to break it down. And I wanted to share I usually like create a tally sheet with all 12 of the zodiac signs and go through all of my mood trackers and see and kind of like like tally everything up. This time because it is time consuming to do that, and this time since I felt like I wasn't feeling well, I didn't have that much energy. I created just two columns. One of them were um a rating of 2 or lower, and the other was 4 or higher. So I just wrote down all of my seemingly really good days and compared them to my seemingly really low days and what um to discover if there's any patterns there that really stand out to me. And it's just really interesting. Like, even it was really nice to see that despite how I'm feeling right now, for the most part this year, I've actually had more good days than bad days, which is very unlike me. So, anyways, just a reminder to do that. I mean, you don't have to only do it on the Cancer new moon, just whenever you have the time to sit down and really reflect and journal on things. And what reminded me is that we're currently in Libra right now, and I was really interested to see in my mood tracker that Libra was one of my highest rated days. And that's um really interesting for me because usually really my big three, like Leo, Pisces, or Aquarius, are my like I just feel myself, I feel good. But Libra days is has been highest rated this year for whatever reason. So that's also fun to explore. It doesn't have to just be what are the days that you don't feel good. We don't have to only focus on the negative days. So it's just another aspect of reflection that I just find so remarkable sometimes. So, anyways, just a reminder to go back and do that if you haven't already. We're starting off Monday in Libra energy. We'll be in Libra energy all day Monday. Libra season is middle of fall. It's like very like because all the trees have already turned beautiful colors. Like that's how I remember Libra energy because of just how vibrant and beautiful everything is, like aesthetically pleasing, because Libra is ruled by Venus. So it encompasses, Libra season encompasses that just feeling of beauty and love to me, anyways. And it's an air sign. So I don't know, it's a nice, it's not really a good or a bad way to start off your Monday. And then Tuesday morning around 11:05, we start to transition. So by Tuesday afternoon, we'll be into Scorpio, and that's our first quarter energy. So this is half lit, half energy. I look at first quarter energy as half full. I look at last quarter energy as half empty because we are increasing. We're looking at things positively. Things are energized, but it's Scorpio. So I do want to point out because I've been really looking at again kind of like what I said about the retrogrades, looking at things as periods of time or windows. I'm also looking at the moon phases as windows, and if you look back to May, we had a full lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So it kind of feels like anything that you may have been come up for you during the lunar eclipse might kind of be progressing forward now or shifting now. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to look at because the Scorpio window would technically be from the Scorpio full moon to the Scorpio new moon, which we'll have in during Libra season actually in the fall. So, I don't know. I'm just into looking at things in windows right now, like time frames. So that's just something that I've been thinking about. And it kind of gives you something to like on the new moon we start things, on the full moon we illuminate things. It gives you something to look at on the quarters. And it's just like finding a way to encompass that entire cycle is helpful for me. It helps me get through the week. So to have a focus for a first quarter week and have that be maybe I reflect on whatever new moon or full moon of that quarter sign, if that makes sense. So you could even go all the way back to the new moon of last year. But the closest one would be we had the full moon in Scorpio in May. So we'll be in Scorpio energy for Tuesday and Wednesday. and most of Thursday. So the end of Tuesday, all of Wednesday, and then the um, first half of the day of Thursday. And Scorpio energy is water energy. We just came out of Cancer season. I'm thinking that the Scorpio energy in Leo season is going to feel a little bit lighter and not as heavy because I really noticed that the water days in Cancer season were a lot heavier because we're having that sun energy combined with the moon energy. So now we're having fire and water that kind of balance each other out. Like we want to have that sun energy when we're near a body of water, right? Like you don't want to go outside when it's cloudy. So having like and water energy is kind of an interesting play. So I'm anticipating that the Scorpio energy is going to be a little bit lighter, hopefully. And then Thursday we'll move into Sagittarius. One of the things I also notice with my self-evaluation is that the transition from Scorpio to Sagittarius is one of my favorite transitions. I just really, really love that movement from water to fire. I don't know what I can't really pinpoint it exactly, but I was wondering if it's just that Scorpio is so heavy and can be intense sometimes that shifting to that fire is just really nice. Like to just have this like, okay, I did that little bit of shadow work. Now I can shut it off and now I'm ready to go on my next adventure. It feels like relieving. It's like, okay, we went down into the dark for a little bit. We played around in the mud and did a little shadow work, and now we can go on our next adventure. Now I'm ready to do this thing. And Sagittarius will be happening Thursday evening, all day Friday, and Saturday. So again, that's fire energy. Sagittarius, as you can see, is the archer, and we're just like finding direction, finding that spark and that excitement that really gets you going, is like gets you excited about something. It's the end of the year when we're thinking about the new year and like, oh, I'm gonna do all these great things next year. So I love when Sagittarius days come up during the month because it's just like what is it that you're looking forward to? It's really important for me and my mental health to look forward to things. So, what are you looking forward to? What adventures are you going on this summer? That's also weekend energy too. So, like Thursday through Saturday, have this Sagittarius energy. And then Capricorn is like, okay, we want to do these things, but how are we going to do them? So they're able to set that plan into place and help us to get to that thing that we're aiming at. So Sunday might help you get like ready for your week next week. It might help you wrap up some tasks and chores at home. And that's the energy for this week. So again, we're starting off with air, Libra, love, Venus energy to start off the week. So start off your week with a positive note, especially to help you navigate through Scorpio energy, water energy, emotional energy. I really am anticipating that the Scorpio energy is going to be a little bit lighter, but we'll see. Then fire energy, hopefully that gets you excited and activated for something. And then Capricorn's going to help us get that stable energy from which we can build on. Build, and grow. Because that will carry us into the full moon week next week. Alrighty, so our chakra card for today is Anchor in Now. You are present, strong, and worthy, capable of creating the harmonious and beautiful life you desire. Hold still in this wisdom, the knowledge that you are safe and stable, the awareness that Mother Earth is guiding and protecting you every step of the way. Your path to this moment was both guided and intended. So this is a root chakra card. The crystal's black tourmaline and the herb is burdock. I've loved when I saw that we pulled this card for this week. I was like, oh, thank goodness. Because last week was just like really rough for me. So the other card that we got, and I thought this was so fitting and perfect, especially, I don't know if I'm the only one that had a really rough week last week, but like overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. Like, I needed this anchor for all of that water energy. Like, I needed this grounded root chakra anchor in now because things were feeling like really overflowing and overwhelming. So I was hoping to have some like positive energy coming into this week. So too much, overwhelm, and plenty are the keywords here. So many good things are headed your way or are already occurring in your life right now. Yet you may be thinking that they're not possible or you're not worthy of them. Abundance is everybody's natural state before we project our restriction on it, defining what it means, who has it, who gets it, and so forth. Right now, take yourself out of your conditioning and look at your life through the eyes of plenty or through rose colored glasses. There is so much beauty and love, opportunities, divine synchronicities destined to support your dreams abound and are lined up for you. Yet it's sometimes difficult to discern it all because you're bombarded with too much information and stimulation distracting you from the truth that all is well. Sometimes all this overflow can be overwhelming, and you may find yourself responding with empathy overload. Empathy overload occurs when you tune into the collective angst and fear about impending changes and uncertainties. It's unmanageable. You feel like you're drowning in those emotions. It's time to allow yourself to detach, bring yourself back to your life, restore your faith in a power greater than you, and remind yourself to focus on your smaller personal universe, which is much easier to manage. In this life, you know that you are a conduit for life's blessings and can share them with others, making this perception of overflow profoundly positive. I think this could, I say this every week. I think this is a perfect card for the energy of this week, especially coming out of the energy from last week. So I really needed this anchor. I think I even mentioned to somebody whenever you're struggling with too much water energy, that like physically, like imagining that you're feeling an anchor, that you're like dropping it down and you're just like rooted. Because I often find that the tree meditation of putting your roots down and that your roots are going into the earth, that doesn't always work for me. But the anchor does, because I just envision like holding something heavy and dropping it and just feeling that like instant like pull down to the ground. That's one of the reasons why hematate's like one of my favorite stones, because it does that with your energy. Like you can really feel your energy just like being pulled into center. I usually do have black tourmaline sitting here. Oh, this is a kind of black tourmaline. I mean, it looks like charcoal. It's black, black, black. It's going to root you no matter what. So that's why it's recommended here. Burdock is a plant, but oftentimes the root is used. So it's literally like root, 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 like root down to the ground. All right. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that your week was fine last week. And if it wasn't, I hope it gets better this week. And I will either see you Monday or Wednesday or both. So have a lovely week. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you on the other side of the looking glass.